Welcome, friends. I'm Chris. I'm with Transformation Nation Yoga and Wellness. Welcome to Stability Meets Mobility. This is our fire and water sequence. So, why fire and water? We're going to be working on isolating some specific muscles that have an association with the secondary channels of kidney and urinary bladder meridian. So, this will be a holistic practice, but some muscles that we don't necessarily, that we use every time we practice yoga, but we don't necessarily isolate. Upper trapezius in the upper back and in the lower part of the neck. We'll be working on, like in terms of pain points, the psoas. So this will be a very hip flexor intensive practice, but also the sacrospinalis, a line of muscles along the spinal column, and also a couple of small muscles in the calves that we don't typically work on isolating, the tibialis and the peroneus. So what I think you'll need to be safe and to be comfortable and get the most out of your practice are a sticky mat like I have behind me back here, and one will do, but I would prefer that you had 2 yoga blocks. So pause your device, roll out your mat, gather up your materials, and when you're ready, press play, and I'll meet you here on your mat. All right, friends. So for tonight, what I had in mind is a fire and water practice. So we're going to be doing poses that trigger connective tissues in the secondary, in some of the secondary channels of fire and water element meridians. So in particular, what I think about for this, um, upper trapezius, so upper back, lower neck. We'll be working on that. Like as far as pain points, one of the big ones for tonight is the psoas. So it'll be a pretty deep hip flexor practice for tonight. And a couple of small muscles in the calves. So we work these muscles frequently in yoga, but we don't necessarily specifically work to isolate them. So in particular, the tibialis uh, and peroneus. So we'll start in a seated position. Stack your joints. Put your head over your shoulders, over your hips. Bring your chin so it's level with the earth. So enough space between your chin and your throat that you can hold, say, a tennis ball. And we're going to start with these chin tucks. So on an inhale breath, draw your chin toward the back edge of your mat. Give yourself a double chin. Exhale, relax your neck. Inhale, double chin. Exhale, relax your neck. Inhale, draw your chin toward the back edge of your mat. Exhale, relax your neck. Inhale for the double chin. Exhale, relax your neck. And then one more time on an inhale, draw your chin toward the back edge of your mat. Exhale, release. Take your left thumb up, plug it into the top of the shoulder where the soft tissue meets the shoulder blade. So left elbow parallel to the ceiling. Plant your right hand on the palm of your head with your right elbow pointing forward toward the top edge of your mat. Good, that's it. Inhale, lengthen along your whole spinal column. Exhale, use your right hand, draw your chin down towards your right shoulder. Maybe feel for a stretch on the back left-hand side of your neck. So that double chin action, like it's a condition people sometimes have. If you see people and they have like rounding in the back of the neck, and we have so many societal pressures that cause the fascia to build up there, called upper cross syndrome. So craning our heads forward to look at cell phones, laptops, things like that. But that double chin action, what I've read is if we did that 5 or 6 times a day, sprinkled throughout our day, that really does a great job of countering that movement pattern. On an inhale, use your right hand, draw the crown of your head back up to center. You can release your left hand for now. Plug your right thumb into the shoulder blade where the soft tissue meets the shoulder blade. Right elbow points for the stars. Place your left hand on the crown of your head. Inhale, lengthen out again. Exhale, fold your chin down towards your left shoulder. And then on your next inhale, draw the crown of your head back up to center. Release both arms. And you can release your left leg forward toward the top edge of your mat. Flex the toes on your left foot back towards your face. Put a bend in your right knee. Plant the sole of your right foot on the earth. And step your right foot over your left knee. Now, you could catch that right knee with your left hand, with your left elbow crease, or right hand down by your hip. You can slide your left elbow on the outside of the right thigh. Inhale, lengthen along your spinal column again. Exhale, rotate your heart to the right, your hips back to the left. Inhale. Exhale, release out of the twist. Release your right leg and then lengthen your right leg long. Put a bend in your left knee. Place the sole of your left foot on the earth. Step your left foot over your right. Then left hand down by your left hip. All those three options for how you catch that left knee are all on the table. Inhale for length first. Flex the toes in your right foot back towards your face. And then exhale, rotate your hips to the right, your heart to the left. Inhale. Exhale, release that twist, come back to center. Unwind your legs, come back into a cross-legged seat again. They call this crisscross applesauce, I think. Bring your left hand down to the mat in line with your left thigh. We're going to do animal. Take the webbing between your right thumb and right index finger, feed it into your right hip crease. On an inhale, relax your arms, open your heart up to your right. Exhale, fold forward over that left thigh. Pull the heel of your left hand back towards your left knee. Press your right hand down and back into that hip crease. Inhale, relax your arms, open your heart up to the right. Exhale, fold, engage both arms. At the bottom of this movement, spread your knees apart. And work through this about 4 more times at your own pace into the cadence of your own breath. Good, friends. After 6 full rounds, find an apparent pause. Lift yourself back up. We're just going to change sides. Bring your right hand down to the mat in line with your right thigh. Place the webbing between your left thumb and left index finger into your left hip crease. Inhale, relax your arms. Open your heart up to the left. Exhale, fold over your right thigh. Pull with the right hand. Press the left hand down and back. Spread your knees apart. And then that same thing 5 more times. Looks really good, friends, both of you. Once you've had a chance to work through 6 iterations, lift yourself back up, roll over your crossed ankles, and let's find the tabletop shape. Bring your index fingers at 12 o'clock, float your shoulders over your wrists, float your hips over your knees, make a nice flat shape of your back. And then on an inhale breath, drop your belly down toward the earth. Lift your gaze, drag the heels of your hands back toward your knees. Exhale, press into your hands and shins, shift your gaze to the space between your knees. Puff the space between your shoulder blades skyward, and do that 5 more times. Maybe tucking your toes as you drop your belly into cow pose. And maybe not. That's just an invitation. You've had a chance to work through 6, come back to a neutral spine position. Tuck your toes under your feet. Walk your feet back towards your knees. Reach back, tuck even the 4th toe and the pinky toe back up under your feet. Now, options here. Your hands could stay on blocks. That's fine. Your hands could be on your thighs. Also fine. Or you could float your head over your shoulders, over hips. Even here, for less sensation, lift your hips up toward the stars. For more, drop them down toward the earth. I'm just going to change positions for demonstration purposes. You guys stay right where you are. And only if you've got stacked joints, float your hands over your thighs by about an inch. Inhale, lift your arms up to shoulder height. Open them out to shoulder width. Draw your hands back into center. Visualize pulling the moon in towards your heart. Press it out into the world. Good, you guys, both of you. And then help it float down to the floor of the ocean. Arms up to shoulder height. Open out the shoulder width. Yeah, adjust your feet as you need to. Come back into center. In towards your heart. Out toward the world. Down to the ocean. One more time. Shoulder height. Shoulder width. Center. Toward the heart. Into the world. Down to the floor of the ocean. Now a single round of clearing. Circle your arms up to shoulder height. Beautiful work, friends. Push the ball down to the floor of the ocean. Ooh, and that is quite enough in those feet. Start to come forward into tabletop. Press the shoelace parts of your feet into the mat again and just pedal your feet out. So we're going to get into an ankle stretch next. So to start, grab both blocks. Place them in between your ankles, one on top of the other. At the lowest height, and then walk your hands back toward your knees, sit on your blocks. So depending on the degree of flexion and mobility you have in your ankles, this might be plenty, right? If you have space, you can reach back, remove one block. And then just check in first before you do anything else. If you have even more space, reach back, remove the second block. And then just check in again. And this might be home too. You could stay right here. Only if you've got more space and you want more sensation, bring your hands down to the earth, under your shoulders, fingers pointing forward. Start to walk the weight of your body back. And then you could even, if you choose, lift your knees up, knowing that if you choose to lift your knees, it might be a dramatic increase in sensation and you might not choose to do that for very long. That's okay. All right, friends, good job. If you've lifted your knees, set your knees back down to the earth. Walk your hands back up under your shoulders so your joints are stacked. Then come forward, paddle your feet out again. And then on an inhale, tuck your toes under your feet. Exhale, lift your hips up, find downward facing dog. And go into the movement that warms your lower body. So for me tonight, that looks like taking the Achilles heel of my left foot and gently tractioning that heel down to the earth with the webbing between my big toe and the second toe on the right foot. And eventually I will change sides. Because of the nature of this class, and we're trying to get into hip flexors, when we move into sun salutations, we'll start with classical suns with a low lunge, which is actually a combination I love anyway. All right, friends, release your heels down to the earth. The bend in your knees is fine. Flatten your palms out on the mat. Relax your neck. Press your belly and your chest towards your thighs. Draw your thighs closer towards your belly and your chest. And then inhale, bend your knees. Look forward. Exhale, walk to the top edge of your mat into Ragdoll Uttanasana. With the weight in the balls of your feet, with your whole belly resting in your thighs. Anything you like with your arms. Tonight, I'm going to grab opposite elbows and sway. But relax your neck. Release your hands down to the earth. Heel toe your feet together. Leave the bend in your knees. Now shift the weight into your heels. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press into your feet. Circle your arms all the way up over your head. Exhale, slice your hands down into heart center. Set a soft gaze at the tips of your fingers. Inhale, reach your arms up over your head. Exhale, hinge into a forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, step your left leg back, tap that left knee down. Knowing you could take time and pat up under your left knee, that's fine. If you find your right knee coming forward to your right ankle, just walk that right foot forward. Engage your left glute firmly. Release your hips any amount closer toward that right heel. Your hands could be on the mat, they could be on blocks, they could be on that front thigh. You could also take warrior one arms. It's a little early for me to take that yet. These first two low lunges, we'll do 5 breaths apiece, and then we'll start to speed things up a little bit. And we'll link together these classical suns with caterpillar pose. Inhale right here. Exhale, release your hands down to the earth. Step your right leg back to meet your left into a high plank. Inhale in high plank. Exhale, caterpillar pose. Tap your knees down to the earth. Leave the arch in your back. Lower your chest and your chin down towards your mat. And then rock forward onto your belly. Inhale into an easy cobra. Hands under your shoulders. Pull with your hands. Peel your heart up off the earth. Press the shoelace parts of your feet into the earth. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale in down dog. Exhale, step your left leg forward. Tap the right knee down, low lunge. Right, 5 breaths. So take all the time you need to set this up in a way that's structurally and foundationally sound. Especially because some of those muscles in the calves that we're isolating tonight that we don't typically isolate, we'll do some things that are a little bit different. I think both of you may have done these with me before, but so give yourself a break if you don't know what's coming or you're doing something for the first time. Our transition to 2 breaths will be to a forward fold at the top edge of the mat. You could bring your hands down to the earth, or you could do this with hands at heart center. Inhale. Exhale, find a forward fold at the top edge of your mat. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise, come all the way up to standing. Exhale, draw your hands into heart center. Inhale, reach your arms up over your head. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, step your right leg back, low lunge, 1 breath, rise on your inhale. Exhale, high plank. Inhale in high plank, exhale, caterpillar pose, knees, chest, chin, all reach for the earth. Inhale, open your heart, easy cobra, or if you're ready for up dog, it's early for me. Yeah, it might be fine for you. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale in down dog. Exhale, step your right leg forward, left knee down, low lunge. And then on your next exhale, find a forward fold at the top edge of your mat. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press into your feet, circle your arms up over your head. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach your arms skyward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, left leg back, low lunge. And then high plank. Inhale in high plank. Exhale, caterpillar pose. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, step your left leg forward. Rise on your inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Yep, great transition. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, come all the way up to standing. Exhale, pull your hands down into heart center. Inhale, reach your arms over your head. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, step your right leg back. And then high plank. Inhale in high plank. Exhale, last caterpillar of the practice. Tap your knees down, let your chest and your chin reach for the earth. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. From your down dog, draw in a deep, life-affirming breath, and then open your mouth, let it out with a ha sound. Inhale. Exhale, step your right leg forward, low lunge. Inhale as you rise. Exhale, find a forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. Shift the weight right away into your heels. Scoop your belly button towards your sternum. Find some place you can soften. Maybe it's the shoulders. Maybe it's the flesh around your eyes. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Good job, friends. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, step back into high plank. Inhale, rock forward on your toes. Float your shoulders over your wrists. Keep the back of your head buoyant. Exhale, low plank. Come halfway down. Knees up or down. Inhale, open your heart. My body's finally ready for an up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right heel up toward the stars. Exhale, reach it forward, rise into warrior one. With your right toes at 12 o'clock, left toes at 8 to 10 o'clock, heels in one straight line or super wide apart. Hands on that front thigh, heart center, or fingers reaching for the stars. Press the pinky edge blade of your left foot down even more. See if on your next exhale, you can let your shoulder blades relax down your back any amount more. Inhale. Exhale, release your hands down to the earth, step back into high plank, and then you chart your own course to down dog. Get there however you like. I'm going to choose to do it with a vinyasa, but you could press directly there. You could take a little stop on the way through child's pose. Inhale, lift your left heel skyward. Exhale, step it forward, rise up into warrior one. Bring your hands to life. Find a balanced, sattvic level of energy. It's not dead fish hands, but not overflexed either. So visualize a level of energy in your hands you could hold for an hour or more. Maybe not necessarily with arms over your head. That would be a big ask for anybody. Inhale. Exhale, release your hands down to the earth, step back into high plank. And then chart your own course to downward facing dog. Draw in another life-affirming breath. Hold it at the top. And then open your mouth, let that all go. On an inhale, reach your right heel up toward the stars. Exhale, step it forward, tap your left knee down, back to low lunge. Right, so set up the basics, the fundamentals of this first. So left glute engaged, hips releasing toward that right heel. You could do any arms. This is just an invitation. Bring your forearms out in front of you, palms facing the sky, spread between the index finger, middle finger of both hands. Inhale, engage your left glute even more. Exhale, rotate the whole trunk of your body to the right. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, rotate the trunk of your body to the right. Come back into center. Exhale, rotate the trunk, whole trunk of your body to the right. Engage that left glute anymore. 3 breaths here. The more you engage that left glute, the more you'll get into the iliopsoas on the left side. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, make a side bend to the right. Inhale, maintain that side bend. Engage your left glute even more. Exhale, rotate the whole trunk of your body to the left. Good job, you guys. Inhale, come back into center. Exhale, release your left hand down to the mat or to a block under your left shoulder. Bring your right hand to your right thigh. Inhale, lengthen out along your whole spinal column. Exhale, press into your right hand, open your heart up to the right. And then inhale, release slightly out of the twist. Exhale, re-engage, press firmly into your right hand, deeper into the twist. But no, do this 4 more times. But let your hips drop closer and closer down toward that right heel. So I'm interested in loosening connective tissues in our lower backs here, but I'm as interested in what's happening with your left psoas, the left side of your psoas. All right, good job, friends. After 6 full iterations, come back into center. On your next inhale, start pressing into your right heel, straighten that right leg, Hanumasana, half splits. Flex the toes on your right foot back towards your face. You could have hands under your blocks. You could also place a block under your right glute. You could fold forward over that right thigh, or you could catch the ball of your right foot with a strap. That right knee doesn't have to be locked out and straight, right? So take this at a level of sensation that's appropriate for your body. Good job, friends. On your next inhale, start to lift yourself back up into a low lunge. Release your hands down to the earth, step back into high plank, and then you chart your own course to down dog. On an inhale, lift your left heel skyward. Exhale, step it forward. Low lunge, tap your right knee down. Right glute is engaged. Hips are releasing forward. Any arm variation, just an invitation. Forearms parallel to the earth, palms face the sky. Spread between your thumb and pinky finger on both hands. Inhale, engage your right glute more. Exhale, rotate the whole trunk of your body to the left. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, rotate to the left. Inhale, come back into center. Exhale, rotate to the left, and we're going to hold here for 3 breaths. Continue engaging that right glute. Great job, friends. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, take a side bend to your left. So like an oblique crunch on the left. Inhale right here, maintain that side bend. Exhale, rotate the whole trunk of your body to the right. Inhale. Exhale, come back to center. Great job. Release your right hand down to the mat or to a block. Bring your left hand to your left thigh. Release the right side of your psoas down to the earth first. And then inhale, lengthen along your spinal column. Exhale, press into your left hand. And then find that cycling action. Inhale, come out of the twist. Exhale, re-engage. 4 more times. Great job, friends. After 6 rounds of this, come back into center, find an apparent pause, and then start pressing into your left heel, straighten that left leg, half splits, Hanumasana. Any variation. All right, friends. On your next inhale, start to rock forward, back into a low lunge, and then release your right knee back to your left, sit back into child's pose. Bring your knees out nice and wide. Bring your big toes together to touch. Reach your arms up over your head. Press your seat toward your sits bones. And then once your seat is fairly close to your sit bones, lift up onto the tips of your fingers, so like cupcake fingers. Walk your fingers forward 2 or 3 inches and leave the tips of your fingers right where they are. Drop the palms of your hands down on your mat. On your next inhale, lift up into tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. On an inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, walk, step, or float to the top edge of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise, come all the way up to standing. Exhale, draw your hands down through heart center and then down by your waist. Ground down into all 4 corners of your left foot. Lift your right knee, catch your right shin in both hands, interlace the fingers. For now, flex the toes on your right foot back toward your face, and then point your toes down toward the earth. Find your drishti, find a single point of focus. Flex the toes back toward your face, point them as close down to the earth as you can. Continue moving through this, pointing and flexing of that right foot to the cadence and pace of your own breath. As you get more comfortable here, you can walk your hands further down that right shin, maybe lift the right knee higher up towards your right shoulder, or not. Totally up to you. All right, friends, come back to stillness with that flexing. Release your right foot down to the earth. Maybe shake your legs out. Ground down into all 4 corners of your right foot. Lift your left knee. Interlace both hands on that left shin. Lift the left knee up towards your left shoulder, and then point and flex the toes on your left foot. Really good, friends. We're trying to isolate the tibialis here. And we happen to be doing it from a balancing stretch. So it's sort of a, what is it called? Focusing on multiple tasks at the same time. Divided attention task is what it is. All right, friends, come back to stillness with that left foot. Release your left foot down to the earth. When you set it down, hip distance apart. Left and right feet, hip distance apart. On an inhale, lift up onto the balls of your feet, like you're standing on your toes. Do anything you like with your hands, whatever helps you to balance. And release down onto the balls of your feet. Shift the weight into your heels. And then your arms may windmill to keep you balanced. That's okay. And come forward onto the tips of your toes again. All right, so we're staying up on the balls of the feet fairly long the first two times. I'm going to release you to go through on your own. No reason to stay up high. We're just working the calves a little bit. Come down onto the balls of your feet. Shift the weight into your heels. And then shift the weight between the balls of your feet and your heels 4 more times. And again, no reason to spend any great length of time in either place, unless your body calls for it. If your body calls for it, stay there as long as you like. And from here, we're going into a related movement called prancing. I think both of you guys have done this with me before, but if not, it's a little bit weird. But it also really works the calves in an interesting way. All right, friends. So after you've had about 6 rounds of rocking back and forth, come back to standing with your feet hip distance apart. Lift your right heel, come up onto the ball of your right foot. Lift your left heel. Stack the joints. Head floats over shoulders over hips. Then drop your seat 12 to 14 inches. Drop your left heel down to the earth. Drop your right heel down to the earth. Press into your feet. Come back to standing. Good job. Lift your left heel. Right heel. Ooh, drop your seat. Lower your right heel. Lower your left heel. Press into your feet. Come back up to standing. 4 more rounds. And if you feel like you mess up and you do one side twice in a row, I mean, I don't think that matters at all, friends. We're all good here. Yeah, and do whatever you need with your arms to stay balanced and to feel stable and secure. And after you've done about 6, come back to your feet, heel toe your feet together again. On an inhale, sweep your arms up over your head. Exhale, hinge into a forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, step back into high plank. Tap your knees down to the earth, lower all the way down to your belly. Bring your hands down by your waist, palms face the sky, rest your right cheek on the mat. Shift your gaze to neutral, flip your palms down toward the earth, lengthen your legs long behind you. And then on an inhale, scoop your belly button to your sternum, feel your pubic bone root down into the earth. Exhale, lift up into Salabhasana, locust pose. Lift your thighs, lift your chest, draw your shoulder blades together. Leave your gaze neutral, so long neck. So gaze either directly under your head or maybe where the top edge of your mat meets the floor of your home. Lift up any amount higher. And then lower all the way down. Good job. Flip your palms up toward the sky. Rest your left cheek on the mat. Bring your gaze back to neutral. Flip your palms down toward the earth. Lengthen your legs long again. Inhale, scoop your belly button towards your sternum. Exhale, lift up into a second locust. Could do same arms. You could also interlace your hands behind your back. Press the heels of your hands together. Press your knuckles back towards your heels. Lift your right hip another 2 inches up off the earth. Now lift your left hip 2 inches up to meet it. Good job, friends. Lower down, leave your gaze neutral, put a bend in your knees. Option to drop your ankles off from side to side, windshield wiper your legs. And then release your feet down to the earth behind you. Roll onto your right side. So I'm going to put a little bit of a bend in my right knee, but reach your left hand back, catch the top of your left foot, and then draw your left knee in line with your right. On an inhale breath, start to kick your left leg into your left hand. And if you can, leave the left knee stacked over your right. So it may lift up, but I would not want it going super far back or super far forward. Can you feel this in your hip flexor? Yep. No? Okay. All right, kick that left foot into your left hand even more. And then I'm going to ask you to release that left leg, but do it with lots of control. So rather than letting that leg snap, release it forward. Make your way onto your left side. Little bend in the right knee, or the left knee rather. Reach your right hand back, catch a grip on the top of your right foot. Bring your right knee in line with your left, and then start kicking your right foot into your right arm. Maybe lifting that right knee higher up, but more or less right hip floating over your left. And then maybe press your right hip flexor forward toward that right hand edge of your mat. Kick your right leg, your right foot into your right arm even more. And then under your control, with lots of care, release that right leg. Make your way onto your back. Instead of for thread the needle, we're going to do thread the needle in a moment. We're going to do something else first. I'm going to turn and face away from you a little bit in hopes that you can see it better. But hook the pinky edge blade of your right foot on the outside of your left thigh, just above the knee. Then reach your right hand up, just place it on the center of your right shin. So we want to prevent that shin from coming back towards us. Now take your left hand, fold the fingers of your left hand over the tops of your toes. Now straighten your right arm and use the fingers of your left hand to draw the toes on your right foot toward the horizon. So you could probably overstretch here really easily. So be gentle. We're looking for a level of sensation at a 5 or a 6 on a scale from 0 to 10. So where we're looking for, it may be different in your body, but we're looking to really get into mobilizing and stretching out the peroneus muscle in the front, kind of to the outside of the right shin. Release the toes on your right foot back up toward the stars. Now thread the needle. Options: place the heel of your right hand on your right inner thigh. Just straighten that right arm. That might be it for you. Or look between your legs, thread your right hand into that triangle, interlace both hands behind your left thigh. Push, pull. Push your right knee forward toward the top edge of your mat. Pull your left knee in toward your chin. All right, good job, friends. Release the sole of your left foot down to the earth. Release your left thigh. Keep the supine figure four for now, and then go to eagle legs. So wrap your right knee over your left. Walk your hips over to the right. Lift both knees up as if you were trying to touch yourself in the chin, and then bring your left hand to your right shin, just below the knee. Draw your right knee down towards your left shoulder, nautilus pose. Good job, friends. Release your nautilus pose. Lower the sole of your left foot down to the earth. Unwind your legs. And then set up for a supine figure four first. Hook the pinky edge blade of your left foot on the outside of your right thigh. Reach your left hand up just to stabilize and secure that left shin. So right in the center of the shin. And then take the fingers of your right hand up, fold over the toes on your left foot. And as you straighten your left arm, use your right hand to draw and traction the toes on your left foot toward the horizon. Good job, friends. Release the toes on your right foot and then thread the needle, whichever version serves you here. So I'm going to thread my left hand into that triangle. I'm going to pull my right knee back toward my chest. I'm going to push my left knee forward toward the top edge of my mat. Right, release your thread the needle. Go to eagle legs. Wrap your left knee over your right. Walk your hips over to the left. Lift both knees up in the direction of your chin. And then just like the other side, right hand to your left shin just below the knee. Draw your left knee down towards your right shoulder. All right, friends, release your nautilus pose, unwind your legs, draw your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a nice squeeze, even lift your chin up towards your knees. And then rock from head to heel until you come up into a long seated position, Paschimottanasana. So lengthen your legs long in front of you. Flex all 10 toes back towards your face. Inhale, sweep your arms up over your head. Exhale, hinge forward with a flat back. So it doesn't have to be a dramatic forward. And then at the top, point and flex your feet. So point the toes forward. Flex the feet back towards your face. So when you point the toes, you might even curl the toes in toward the balls of your feet like you were trying to pick up a ball with your feet. And come to stillness with your feet. Lift yourself up out of this forward fold. So float your head over your shoulders, over your hips, and then make your way back down onto your back using good body mechanics. Tee your arms out to the side. Walk your hips over to your right. Drop your knees over to the left. And then only if you want more sensation, shift your gaze out over the fingers of your right hand, or maybe straighten your right leg and let gravity draw the big toe edge blade of your right foot down toward the earth. Put a bend back in your right knee. Draw your knees up to center. Walk your hips over to the left. Drop your knees off to the right. Shift your gaze out over the fingers of your left hand, maybe, and then maybe straighten your left leg and let gravity draw that big toe edge blade toward the earth. All right, friends, straighten or put a bend in your left knee again. Lift your knees back up to center, and then find any version of a happy baby pose. Bring the soles of your feet parallel to the ceiling, hands maybe behind the knees. They could be on the shin or the ankles. You might wrap your peace fingers around your big toes, or take your fingers out to the pinky edge blades of your feet. You could, if you choose, rock from side to side. If it would feel good and it's in your practice to straighten one leg at a time or both legs in a half or a full straddle, feel free to do that as well. And then release your happy baby. Set yourself up into any final resting shape. On your seat, your belly, your back, your side. Here, release your Ujjayi breath. Come back to a comfortable, natural breath. And find a position where you can balance both relaxation and alertness. to draw some deeper breaths. Feeling your belly and your chest expand more on each inhale, and then contract more full and complete on each exhale. If your body's ready for movement, start to reanimate your body. Maybe start small with the fingers, the toes. And then as you warm up again, go bigger. Rotate your hands at the wrists, your feet at the ankles. You can take a full body stretch. You could windshield wiper your legs depending on your position. And then if you're not already on your seat, roll over onto either side, find a fetal position. Regardless of what position you're in right now, check in with your nervous system and just ask yourself, go into this inquiry, what's the quality of your nervous system right now, post-practice? And then press yourself up into any seated position, any soft eyes, so open with a soft gaze or gently closed, and anything you like with your hands. Thank you, friends. Once again, I'm honored to guide you through your practice tonight. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be safe, and may you know peace. If you're moved to do so, draw your thumbs to the space between your eyebrows. Blessings to you and your family. And that concludes our practice for this evening. Friends, once again, I'm Chris. I'm with Transformation Nation Yoga and Wellness. And this was our fire and water stability meets mobility practice. You're doing great. Keep going.